name is Jim Misko. I'm an author from Alaska. I have written 3 novels. My main character for my first novel, For What He Could Become, is a half Athabascan, half Irish lad from the Arctic village named Bill Williams. And Bill leaves the village to go out and make some money to get married. He gets drafted into World War II, and when he comes home from World War, he finds out that his brother has stolen all the letters he mailed to his girlfriend and married her himself. So he's fit to be tied, goes to the big city, has a lot of problems with homelessness and alcoholism, and redeems himself running the 73 Iditarod, the first full-length 1,000-mile Iditarod in Alaska. My second novel, The Most Expensive Mistress in Jefferson County, is based on a true life experience of a friend of mine who spent 3 years working on a $400 million real estate exchange in the state of Idaho, the largest exchange in the state of Idaho, between 126 farmers and ranchers, 100 Nez Perce Indian tribe, and 4 government agencies, Fish and Wildlife, Forest Service, etc. They're all trading something they had for something the other guy wanted, and he had to close it by Friday. The novel starts on Monday of that week, and if he closes it, he stands to make $20 million. If it doesn't close, he's going to file bankruptcy. The third novel is based on coastal Oregon, and is based on a small mink ranch on the coast of Oregon. A young guy heading back to college, but short of money to pay tuition. Takes a temporary job on an isolated mink ranch on the coast of Oregon and gets involved with a totally dysfunctional family that owns and operates it. I was inspired to write these stories because A, I was a writer, and B, I was sitting in a hot tub in 1983 with this half Indian, half Irish fellow, and he told me basically the beginning of his story and how he ended up at the Battle of the Bulge and came back to Anchorage. And I was so taken with the idea of a novel based around those incidents that I proceeded to write one. And it took about 8 years to polish it up, finish it up, get it edited, get it sent to the publisher, and get it done. Mistress, I hunted with that guy, the protagonist, for 25 years. And around the campfire every night, we'd hear the story of how these transactions were going, what the ranchers were doing, why they wouldn't accept the rattlesnake-filled glass places that they were looking at, and what the federal government was demanding of them in order to make the exchange. So I lived with that every hunting season for 25 years, and finally, when he got it closed, I was able to put the pieces together and fictionalize it and turn it into a good novel. It won second place in the nation for small presses in 2008. The third novel, Cut of Pride, is my latest novel, and it was based on personal experience in the 1950s, where I worked on a mink ranch in Oregon with this dysfunctional family, and it was based on that. It's probably 55% fact and 45% fiction. I knew I wanted to be a writer in college. I took my first creative writing course. It developed into writing and selling articles to the local newspapers and magazines, and then led to a summer's job as a journalist on the Oregon City Enterprise Courier after a class by Jessamine West one summer. I want to get across to my readers the 3 things that I find interesting in a novel. The first thing is it has to be entertaining. It has to be entertaining enough that the reader continues turning the pages. The second thing I like to do is to educate about the content of my novels. For instance, what people don't know about the Iditarod and World War II and the Battle of the Bulge and living in a village in Alaska. And the second one, the Cut of Pride, the third one, the Cut of Pride, learning about what happens on a mink ranch. How do these beautiful mink coats get made? What's the process and things that go through it? And on Mistress, learning what's happening in the West all the time now in these land exchanges between the federal government, Indian tribes, and private parties, where they're all exchanging things they have for something the other guy has that they want more than what they've got.